Welcome back to Basement Movie Room yet again. It is the closeout of Spooky Ween, as I've been calling it in this video only because I didn't say that before.
She was just talking about it.
So this is our review. We watched Midnight Mass and reviewed it. So I had not seen Hill House. You had. But you went back and watched it, and I went ahead and watched it for the first time. So we decided to throw up a review / discussion of Hill House, since it's a little harder to review TV shows. I mean, we're at about 500 minutes as opposed to our usual 120 minutes for movies. Yeah. Hill House follows the Crane family, who moves into Hill House. I know, shocker that it's called that. And they begin to witness weird things going on in the house. They bought the house. It's Henry Thomas playing the dad as a young man. Timothy Hutton plays him as an old man, which I thought kind of was a weird choice. Just that they didn't just age make up Henry Thomas,
and especially after seeing Midnight Mass.
Yeah,
and you're like,
and then again, the age makeup in Midnight Mass was not great.
It was not great. So
maybe it was a good choice.
Yeah,
but I mean, Hutton, Thomas, they look close enough together.
And their acting, they had certain mannerisms. They did a really good job.
I mean, we're looking at about 25 years difference, I think. It was like 92 and then 2020 or something like that. So it's like 28 years, I guess, maybe. 2019. So, I mean, it was fine. But then again, I think Timothy Hutton and Henry Thomas are only about 13 years difference in age or something. It's not that much. I mean, we're talking about Elliot from E.T. here, which you made that joke in the Midnight Mass thing, and I had forgot that Henry Thomas was even in Midnight Mass, to be honest. I didn't never recognize him that well. But yeah, so Henry Thomas plays the father of the Crane family. Carla Gugino? I don't know. I can't pronounce her name. Carla something plays the mother of the Crane family, and then you have their 5 kids, right?
Yep.
It's Stephen, the old boy. Mm-hmm. We got Luke and Nell, the twins, the younger twins, and then you have Kate Siegel's character. I can't. What was her name? I can't remember Kate Siegel's the younger one, and then the other sister. Oh, God, I'm bad with the names. I can't remember their names. Right now. Yeah, I can't remember their names. Anyway, 5 kids. They move into Hill House to remodel the house to sell it. And things weird start happening. Mainly with Nell and Luke overall, because they're the youngest. Luke starts talking about a friend that he has. Is it Abigail? Yeah, Abigail.
Yeah.
The friend. And no, everybody thinks it's an imaginary friend. And
the blonde girl in the woods.
Yeah. And Nell keeps seeing things in the house, the bent neck lady. So all that's happening, and the parents are writing this off as just, kids, being scared at night, having bad dreams. But things start to get weirder and weirder. In the meantime, we're bouncing forward in time to the current time where the kids have grown up. They're not talking to their father anymore because of what happened at Hill House. Mainly don't talk to him very much. Luke has a significant heroin problem. Nell is honestly the most normal of the bunch, probably. She's fairly normal. She's just...
But you don't realize that.
Yeah, you actually don't get much of Nell, actually, as an adult. You get very brief moments because...
Episode 7 or 8.
Yeah, because basically in episode 1 or 2, she's dead. She dies. And I think it's episode 1 that she kills herself. They say she kills herself. Yeah. So Nell's not in it much. You get flashbacks to her with the other people, and then you get ghost flashbacks as well with Nell. The oldest daughter in the family has become a funeral director because of when her mother died. She was very impressed. Shirley, that's it.
Shirley and... I'm cheating.
Yeah, it's fine.
And Theodora.
Theodora, that's right.
Kate Siegel.
Yeah, Theodora, the weird name they gave that kid. Yeah. So Theodora, it lives with Shirley. Shirley's a funeral director who's married with kids. Theodora is a lesbian. She lives in like...
She's a psychiatrist.
She's a psychologist, something like that. Stephen Crane, the oldest, has become an author writing about ghost stories, basically. He wrote about Hill House, and he's written about a number of others, and he does investigations of ghost sightings. In fact, I think the first time we meet him, he's at a lady's house who says she's seeing her dead husband in the house.
Episode, right.
First episode. Then let's see, Luke, Nell, Shirley, Theodore, Stephen. I think I hit them all.
That's it.
So basically, what happens is the first episode you're introduced to everyone, and Nell pulls into Hill House, and they get a call later from their father that Nell's killed herself at Hill House. So that brings the family all back together to basically see each other for the first time.
Physically back together.
Physically back together. Not back together, because they're all in very bad shape. Luke actually is in recovery when this happens, and they're all seeing things. Like Stephen sees Nell the night she dies in his apartment. He says he's never seen a ghost, but he sees Nell, and that's right after he sees Luke, who went into his apartment to steal some stuff to pay for some money, which Stephen assumes is for drugs, but it doesn't end up that way. Luke's actually clean through the whole show that we're watching. This is a convoluted plot. This is going to be impossible.
Yeah,
I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but nonetheless,
can't.
It's about the effect Hill House had on them with their mother dying and how they cope with that. And it's much like Midnight Mass, it's a lot of drama and family strife over the actual ghost story.
And things aren't what they seem.
Never in the show are things what they seem.
And it really jumps back and forth.
It really does. Like you're slowly getting the story of when they were kids, while moving ahead with the story when they're adults to get to the final kind of climax of the story, and what Hill House is and what's going to happen. So I can't really go into much of the plot. We'll talk about more of it as we kind of discuss it. But I mean,
each person is affected differently by their experience at Hill House throughout their years, and it all circles back around. Yeah. To put it.
Yeah, everything circles back around.
Yeah.
Like the night that they leave, and I'm beyond the plot at this point, but the night that they leave Hill House, this part really got me because it kind of comes back. The night that they leave Hill House, Henry Thomas's character, the father, runs in and grabs Stephen. Everybody else, he's already gotten out of the house. Stephen was the last one. He says, "Close your eyes. Do not open your eyes as we leave." So Stephen listens to him. He leaves. And Stephen writes in his book that tells people that he's never seen a ghost. Later on, that comes back. This is one of my favorite parts of the show, is when Timothy Hutton's talking to him and he says, "Hey, you said you've never seen a ghost, but you've absolutely seen a ghost." Yeah. Because here's the deal. In your book, you write that when you left your room, you walked down the hall and there was a clock repairman. Well, I had that clock looked at, and that clock had not been worked on in 60 years, and I had never hired anybody to work on that. Right. And that ghost comes back at some point in the show. You see him again, like he's always there working on the clock. Right. It's a really cool moment. Start to pick up because it also kind of, in spoilers, we're spoiling the show. We're going to spoil the show. It also points out that Hill House, weirdly, is not all bad. No. Because there's people who have died in that house. Okay, so ultimately what happens, what you figure out is people who died in that house stay in the house. They die in the house, they're a ghost in the house. Hill House keeps them, and they're ghosts. So basically, if you've died in that house, you're there. Now, there is an evil presence in that house through one particular ghost, Poppy. Yeah. That one ghost is the terrible one. Every other ghost is more like trying to make contact. Just they need help with something. Like the lady in the bed, the older lady. Like, she's not bad. She looks terrible when you see her, but she's not bad. And she, in fact, like warns somebody about Poppy. I think the mother warns about Poppy. Warns somebody about Poppy, that don't trust Poppy. But the house in general is not good. It feeds off the emotions, is what you kind of get. It feeds off the emotions of the family and kind of causes a lot of the problems that happen. So
it's like purgatory.
Yeah, it's very weird. But like
people are there.
Yeah.
Like the little girl. With her
who is real.
They can only see her there.
Yeah.
And in the house.
Yeah.
So they stay in the house and they work in the house.
Yeah, the Dudleys.
Yeah.
Which Joe Colley from Midnight Mass was one of the Dudleys, and Annabeth Gish from Midnight Mass was the other Dudley. And that Abigail, who they think is imaginary friend's a real girl. She's the Dudley's daughter. the Dudleys didn't realize she was sneaking out to play with Luke, and then ultimately the mom kills her.
Went to crazy town.
And put rat poison. And that's funny because that's kind of a thing. Midnight Mass and this show both had a poison. Right. Both had a poison in them. Yeah. And Abigail's the only one who drinks it, and so she kills the Dudley's daughter, but she comes back as a ghost in Hill House. Not an evil one, just there. And the Dudleys...
But the certain room, which...
The red room.
They really kind of attribute the black mold into maybe having some of the psychological effects.
They do. They say there's black mold.
And why it kind of messed with the mom and stuff like that, because she was always, dealing with that black mold.
Yeah, and that's another thing that we didn't mention. Like, the women of the family all have some kind of, except Shirley. She doesn't seem to have some kind of superpower, kind of paranormal power. Like, the mom can see things, and she gets these migraines where she sees things. Theodora, most significantly, has a touch power where if she touches a person, she can feel all their inner feelings and see things. So that was really cool. And now, I think,
she could feel Luke's.
Yeah, she could absorb some of his problems.
Luke's the same because
her and Luke as twins.
Whenever Nell died, he was so cold.
They kind of shared a bond, a twin bond, which they were fraternal.
Shirley.
Yeah, Shirley didn't have a power other than being a super bitch.
Other than she was just like
Shirley was kind of
emotionless with.
Shirley lost just lost it. But Theodora's power is the most obvious there, and she wears gloves all the time, so she doesn't feel things. But by the end of the show, you see that she's learned to control that power, and she's in a relationship and everything else. So, but all the women have powers. So I think the particular power that the mother had in this kind of helped drive her insane because she could really feel the presence of these people. Yeah. And it kind of messed her up. Like, she was the first one to deal with Poppy. Yeah. And the Red Room, that's another thing I really liked about the show, is the Red Room.
It's all black mold on the walls.
Well, they thought they couldn't get in the Red Room, but towards the end of the show, they're like, no, we've all been in the Red Room. Yeah. The Red Room was exactly what we needed it to be. It was a game room.
You see the footsteps at the bottom of the door, and you think it's a ghost.
But it's just another one of the family.
It's just one of the other family members that's been in that room at the time.
Yeah, it was a game room for
And this is what that show does, though. It jumps around, but with purpose. Yeah. And it's really great how they just circle back around to certain things. And
it works very well. And I'm watching Bly Manor. It works in a way that Bly Manor did not work. So, I mean, overall, the story is very well done. It's put together well. Mike Flanagan did a fantastic job putting it together. It's much better than... I'm watching Bly Manor. That's not near as good.
Yes.
It's rather boring compared to this and Midnight Mass. Great show. Yeah. Terrifically plotted. Great acting overall. Just really good.
The character building in the show is spectacular. Great. They basically... designate one episode per person.
Yep.
To
each
really
person gets
build
one.
on their character, and then it all just ties in together so well.
Oh,
it's excellent.
It definitely does.
So,
all right. So I guess since we're being rushed, we will go ahead and go to rating. I'll go first. I love Midnight Mass. I gave it a 5. I don't like this one as much, but it's still great. So it's a 4.5 for me. I think it's terrific. Really well worth watching, but I just like Midnight Mass more, so I can't rank them the same.
Yeah. See, I can't remember what I ranked Midnight Mass.
You gave it a 5.
Was pretty high.
You gave it a 5.
Yeah. And I gotta go the same on this. I actually like this one a little bit better, just because of the whole character building aspect.
Oh, yeah.
And how much time they spent. You really were invested in each one of these characters, and you didn't want to see anything happen.
That's true.
So, love it.
5 from you, 4.5 from me.
5.
Great show.
Yep.
Watch it. We'll see you next time on Basement Movie Room.
Cheers.
You don't have to worry now, sweetie. That really bad dream? Of course I'd